You know what's the absolute worst? High utility bills. They are literally the silent budget killers we all dread, especially when it comes to simply heating the water in our homes. If you've been feeling the sting of those monthly statements lately, well, welcome to today's explainer. We're going to unpack a solution that's been gaining some serious traction: heat pump water heaters. We're going to look at exactly what they are, the pros, the cons, and importantly, how to navigate Illinois rebates to see if this technology is actually a good fit for your home.
Here is our roadmap for today. 1. The technology. 2. Key pros. 3. Installation realities. 4. Navigating Illinois rebates. And finally, 5. Making the choice.
All right, let's dive into Section 1, the technology, what it does and why it's efficient.
Okay, so to really understand the buzz around this, we need to look at the mechanics. A heat pump water heater, or HPWH, uses electricity to run a compressor. But here's the absolute magic part of this whole setup. Instead of generating heat from scratch, it literally just moves existing heat from the surrounding air directly into your water. It's a wildly effective mechanic. This is especially true if you have a mild climate or a well-insulated space, like a relatively warm utility room or garage, where the unit can consistently just pull in that ambient indoor air.
That stark contrast highlights a major shift in how we think about heating. See, traditional water heaters have to generate heat entirely from zero, usually through burning gas or using standard electrical resistance elements. That takes a massive amount of raw, expensive energy. Heat pump water heaters, on the other hand, they're just moving ambient heat from one place to another. Think of it like this: it's the difference between having to build a roaring fire just to get warm versus simply stepping out into the hot sunshine. Moving heat, rather than generating it, yields massive, and I mean massive, efficiency gains.
Moving right along to Section 2, Key Pros, Balancing the Benefits.
So why are people actually making the switch? There are 4 major advantages here. First off, lower operating costs. Because you're utilizing heat transfer instead of direct resistance heating, you completely slash the amount of electricity you use compared to conventional electric tanks. Second, there are some great potential environmental benefits. Reducing your overall energy consumption can actually lower your home's carbon emissions, though to be fair, this does depend a bit on the specific electricity mix powering your local grid. Third, modern units give you a much more precise hot water supply with way better controls and recovery options. And fourth, for folks in our area, there are some highly lucrative Illinois incentive opportunities to tap into, which we are definitely going to cover shortly.
Let's ground these efficiency ratings in everyday reality for a second, just to think about the day-to-day impact in your own house. A heat pump water heater delivers your daily hot water while simply using less electricity per gallon heated. It's doing the exact same job, giving you that fantastic hot shower in the morning, running the dishwasher at night, but it's just sipping electricity instead of gulping it down. Over months and years, that reduction in electricity per gallon translates directly into very noticeable real long-term savings on your energy bills.
All right, time for Section 3, Installation Realities, the cons. Now, with all those incredible efficiency numbers, you're probably asking yourself, what is the catch? And honestly, it is a crucial question to ask anytime you evaluate the hype around any green technology. So let's get real and look at the practical challenges.
Here are the crucial drawbacks you absolutely have to weigh. First, there is a distinctly higher upfront purchasing and installation cost compared to conventional water heaters. The savings only build up over time to eventually offset that initial investment. Second, performance drops significantly in very cold spaces. Third, they require adequate physical space and ventilation for proper air circulation. In fact, some setups even require special ducting just to breathe right. And finally, because they rely on a built-in compressor, they actually produce operational noise, which is totally unlike those silent traditional tanks you might be used to.
Because of that compressor noise, strategic placement is absolutely crucial. You literally want to keep these units as far away from bedrooms or primary living areas as possible. You really don't want your fancy, energy-saving upgrade to turn into an annoying hum that keeps you awake every single night.
And we also have to talk about the temperature of the actual installation space itself. Remember, these units need a warm airflow supply to extract heat from. So if you install one of these in a consistently freezing space, like a drafty, uninsulated area fully exposed to a harsh Illinois winter, its efficiency completely plummets. The unit will be forced to panic and rely on its backup supplemental heating elements, which effectively kills the very efficiency you bought it for in the first place. Basically, if you don't have the right space, it might just not be the right fit.
Which brings us to Section 4, Navigating Illinois Rebates.
Let's move to the good stuff and talk about how to defeat that high upfront cost using state and utility programs. Here is a highly actionable 5-step checklist for securing these incentives in Illinois. Step 1. Check current utility rebate listings to verify your chosen unit specs are actually eligible. Step 2. Confirm the rebate allows your chosen contractor, because a lot of them require a specifically qualified or participating installer. Step 3. Ask upfront exactly what documentation is going to be needed. We're talking receipts, proof of purchase, commissioning reports, the whole shebang. Step 4. Review any income or geographic limits on the program. And Step 5. Compare your final net cost after incentives against traditional alternatives so you can accurately estimate your real payback time.
And finally, Section 5. Making the choice. Choosing the right system.
To sum this all up, there's a fantastic quote from the research. Picking an HPWH isn't just about choosing heat pump technology. It's also about matching the unit to your home's hot water demand and the installation environment. I love this because it perfectly emphasizes that a successful upgrade isn't just about going out and buying a cool piece of advanced machinery. It actually requires a real, honest assessment of your household's usage patterns, your existing plumbing layout, and the actual physical environment where this thing is going to live.
Now, when it comes to properly sizing the system, you and your contractor need to look closely at a few specific technical metrics. You need to pay special attention to the unit's expected recovery rate. You absolutely must verify its energy factor and efficiency ratings to guarantee it actually qualifies for those Illinois rebates we talked about. And crucially, you need to understand exactly when and how it will trigger the use of its supplemental heating during cold periods. You definitely don't want to be surprised by higher than expected operating costs in the middle of January. So we've covered the impressive long-term savings, the practical installation hurdles, and the specific pathway to unlocking those Illinois rebates. But at the end of the day, it all comes down to your unique foundation. Is your home's layout, ambient temperature, and daily hot water demand truly ready for a heat pump water heater? Take a really hard look at your current setup. Weigh those long-term utility bill benefits against the cold, hard realities of the physical installation. And ask yourself, is it finally time to stop generating expensive heat and start moving it instead?